Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve. Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Guess we're doing some finals this week. The final episode of Have Gun Will Travel on radio, starring John Dehner. This episode, entitled From Here to Boston, was originally broadcast November 27th, 1960.
Whenever I'm hired for a job, I can always expect the worst. Little did I know that this time it would mean leaving my dearest friends.
Have Gun Will Travel. Starring Mr. John Dehner as Paladin. San Francisco, 1875. The Carlton Hotel, headquarters of the man called Paladin.
Yes?
Oh, excuse please. You finished with breakfast? Hey boy, we'll take Dishi away.
Oh, yes, we are. Come in. Did you meet my sister?
No, sir.
Hey boy, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
This is my sister, Lavinia Todhunter.
Oh, hello.
How do you do?
Was your room comfortable last night, Missy Todhunter?
I was so exhausted from the trip I hardly noticed. But I do think I'll like the accommodations at the Carlton. I never thought we'd be able to get a suite with 2 bedrooms. It's almost like home.
Oh, yes, Missy. Carlton is very nice hotel.
But it doesn't compare with anything we have in Boston, Lavinia.
Of course not, Miles. But I'm so surprised they have anything at all in this God-forsaken country that I'm overwhelmed.
Hey boy?
Yes, sir.
Do you know most of the regular guests who stay here?
Oh, yes, sir. Hey boy, no, many guests.
Tell me, do you know a Mr. Paladin?
Mr. Oh, yes, sir.
How long has he been living here?
Oh, many long time.
Could you tell us about him, hey boy?
Oh, yes, sir, ma'am.
What does he do? What does he look like? Is he married?
No, ma'am. No, Mr. Paladin, not married.
My sister and I have heard that he hires his gun, so to speak.
Well, Mr. Paladin will be happy to tell you what he does. He's a very good friend of Hey Boy. You like to meet him?
No. We were just curious. We've heard so much about him.
Yes, sir. Would there be anything else?
No, that'll be all for now. Thank you very much, Hey Boy.
Yes, sir.
Miles, why don't you want to meet him?
Not just yet, Lavinia. We have to go about this very carefully.
Well, we don't have all the time in the world, Miles.
I know. But even so, you must have patience.
Don't forget that lawyer back in Boston is looking for him. And if we're too patient, he may locate him before we finish what we came out here to do.
You don't have to remind me. Just let me do the planning.
All right. Then where do we start, my dear brother?
This Hey Boy said Mr. Paladin was unmarried. More than likely, he would be interested in meeting a beautiful young lady from Boston.
Oh, why, thank you, Miles. And then what?
You could entrance him, my dear. Get to know him intimately.
Oh.
And as soon as we know his weak points and when the time is right, we'll complete our mission.
I didn't realize I was going to play such an important role.
You don't object, do you?
Of course not. For $100,000, how could I? Besides, he may be very enjoyable company while he's still alive.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Paladin.
Good morning, hey boy. Well, the dining room is rather crowded this morning. Did Miss Todd Hunter come down yet?
Oh, yes, sir. She's waiting at your table over there in corner.
Ah, yes.
You're getting in rut, Mr. Paladin.
Oh, how's that?
This makes 4th day in a row you have breakfast with Missy Todd Hunter.
She's a very charming lady, hey boy.
Also, very pretty.
Yes. Hey, boy, I'm taking her on a little tour of the city this morning. Would you have a carriage waiting for us out front around 9:30, please?
Yes, sir. Have a nice breakfast, Mr. Paladin.
Thank you, hey, boy. Good morning, Lavinia.
Oh, good morning to you, Paladin.
I hope I didn't keep you waiting.
I didn't mind at all.
How's your brother today?
Oh, he's much better, thank you. It was just a slight cold. The change in climate, I guess.
Well, you should have asked him to join us.
I did. But he prefers having breakfast in his room rather than getting dressed.
Uh-huh. Say, I was just talking to Hey Boy. He'll have a carriage for us at 9:30, and we'll take that ride I promised you.
Oh, wonderful.
Thought we'd go up to Russian Hill, over to Chinatown, and to Meg's Wharf, and even the Barbary Coast, if you're brave enough.
Well, as long as you're around to protect me, why should I be afraid of anything?
That's what I like to hear. You are going to see so many interesting places today, you'll forget you ever knew Boston.
Oh, it sounds so exciting. But I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to more than anything else.
What's that?
Having dinner in your suite tonight alone, just the two of us.
Did we have that planned for tonight?
Yes, why?
I have 2 tickets for the opera tonight.
Oh, no.
Well, if you really don't want to go.
But, Paladin, I'd much rather keep our original plans.
Then I'd be the last person to break them. It'll be dinner tonight in my room. Just the 2 of us. Alone.
Pardon, monsieur.
Paladin.
Mm-hmm.
The waiter is here.
Hmm? Oh, yes.
You wish to order, monsieur?
Lavinia.
Oh.
Where have you been all day?
With Paladin. Where else?
It's after 5 o'clock. I was worried about you.
As long as I'm with him, you needn't be. Oh, he treats me like a queen.
Now, you're not becoming infatuated.
Oh, Miles, don't be silly.
I'm just testing, that's all.
Then stop it. Granted, he's a handsome, debonair, exhilarating man, but I wouldn't take him in preference to $100,000, and you know it.
All right. Now, what about tonight?
Just as we planned. Dinner in his room at 8. Oh, did you get the brandy?
Yes, his favorite kind. And the poison. It's all fixed. I put the poison in the brandy, resealed the bottle. It's ready for delivery.
Good. But now, Miles, you'd better go over the details again. I don't want anything to go wrong.
All right. Just before you arrive, I'll have the brandy delivered to his room with my compliments for being so gracious to my sister and me during our visit to San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Then, after dinner, he'll open the bottle, pour the drinks.
And I'll pretend to sip while he slowly drinks his death.
Precisely. Then the coup de grace to avoid all suspicion. You will leave the room quietly, come back here, and at a late hour I'll go to his room, undress him, put his body in the bathtub, fill it with water, leave everything as natural as it should be, and return to my room.
And then tomorrow morning, when I go down to breakfast to meet him, I'll hear the dreadful news. Mr. Paladin drowned in his bathtub last night. I'll be completely distraught and will leave on the afternoon train.
A most happy trip back to Boston to regain our rightful inheritance.
Miles, you're sure nothing can go wrong?
Why should there? This is the way I disposed of his aunt, and this is the way I'll dispose of him.
But that was simpler. She was your wife. You were there with her every minute yourself. You didn't have to rely on me to see that she drank the brandy.
True. And if she hadn't been so stupid as to will her estate to an unknown nephew she hadn't seen or heard from in 30 years, I wouldn't have to go to all this trouble.
Well, it's your own fault. You should have made sure of the contents of that will.
Lavinia, you know she assured me I was the only heir. Of course, I never thought to question it.
You mean to say that during 2 years of marriage she never mentioned Paladin or any other possible relative?
As far as I knew, she was all alone with no one to turn to for love and affection except her dear, dear Miles.
I guess she showed you.
Well, could have been worse. At least I receive everything after him. She could have left me out of the will altogether.
It's true. Well, I think I'll get dressed for the evening. This is one engagement I don't want to miss.
November 27th, 1960, the final Have Gun Will Travel on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. While many of the radio scripts were rewrites from the television show, the radio version of Have Gun Will Travel had something that the television version didn't have: an ending. There was no finale to Have Gun Will Travel on television, where Richard Boone starred, but the radio show did. Now more of Have Gun Will Travel, starring John Dehner, November 27th, 1960, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Yeah, just a minute. Just a minute.
Mr. Paladin?
Oh, hey, boy, come in.
Yo, you shaving?
No, it's finished. What have you got in that bag?
Oh, things you ask here, boy, to get. Box of sweets for Missy Todd Hunter. Hey, fancy ribbon, huh?
Very nice.
Yes, sir. And a bottle of brandy.
Now, let's see that. Yep. Your memory is improving, hey, boy. That's the right brand, all right. Now, what else?
And the afternoon mail and a paper you forget to pick up when you come back from your little tour.
Anything important?
No. Oh, except maybe big fat letter from Boston.
Boston? Let me see that. Just put everything on the chest over there, hey, boy.
Please, sir.
See. Hey, boy, listen to this.
Yes, sir.
And we've had great difficulty tracing you. But we now have assurance from the Pinkerton Agency that you are the right party. It is with deep regret that we inform you of the death of your Aunt Grace.
Aunt Grace? Didn't know you had an aunt, Mr. Paladin.
I didn't either.
Oh, what else does letter say?
She has left an estate valued at more than $100,000, and according to her last will and testament, you are the rightful heir.
Oh, $100,000.
May we suggest that you present yourself at our offices as soon as possible with the proper credentials. If we do not hear from you within 6 weeks, we will fulfill the alternate wishes of said will, and the estate will revert to the only other living heir, her second husband, one Miles Todhunter.
Todhunter?
Miles Todhunter. Signed, C.L. Glazer, counsel for the estate. Well, I'll be...
Mr. Paladin, could that be the same Todhunter that is guest here at hotel?
I don't know. He has the same name. He's from Boston. It's quite a coincidence.
He not ever talk to you about Auntie Grace?
No. I wonder if this really is my aunt, hey boy.
How could hey boy know if you don't?
Hey, wait a minute. I vaguely remember my father saying that he had a sister who ran away from home in Illinois when I was just a youngster. Yeah, her name was Grace. They'd heard that she had gone to New York, but they never found out for sure.
Well, then could be same Grace.
Could be. These attorneys and Pinkerton agents rarely make a mistake.
What you gonna do?
Well, I think I'll go to Boston.
That's a far long way. When you leave?
Oh, for a couple of days, maybe. First thing I better do is send a telegram to this lawyer. Here, take his name and address. Just say I received his letter and that I will be in Boston in the very near future.
Lisa.
Huh. Miles Todhunter.
You go talk to him, Mr. Paladin?
I don't know, hey boy. If he's the same one, he would know that I was named in his wife's will, wouldn't he?
Yes, sir.
He's been very friendly. His sister has been extremely friendly. You'd think that one of them would have mentioned it by now, wouldn't you?
Yes, sir.
So I see no reason why I should go talk to him, do you?
No, sir.
No.
What about your dinner tonight with Missy Todhunter?
Well, there's no need to change our plans, hey boy. I'm not leaving tonight, and we won't start packing until tomorrow. No, I might as well enjoy the evening with, Missy Todhunter.
Yes, sir. Then, hey boy, better remind Chef to have dinner ready by, 8 o'clock?
Right. And before you go, will you draw some hot water in the tub?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to take a relaxing bath and do a little reflective thinking. Your brother was very thoughtful, Lavinia. This is my favorite brandy.
Yes. Yes, he wanted to show his appreciation for all your kindnesses to us.
Oh. This is my second glass, and you've hardly touched yours.
Oh, I know. I like the aroma more than the taste.
Drink up. It warms the blood.
Well, I feel a little too warm as it is.
Yes, you do seem uncomfortable. Is something wrong?
Oh, no. No, I guess it's just the hour. Oh. It's getting rather late. We've had a busy day.
Yes. Now, I wonder who that could be. Excuse me. Miles.
Oh, Paladin,
Come in.
Well, I just came by to see if Lavinia was still here.
She is? Come in.
You see, it was getting so late that I thought...
I didn't realize what time it was, Miles.
Oh, she's a big girl, Miles. You don't have to worry about your sister.
Well, I wasn't exactly
worried.
I
must thank you for the brandy, Miles. Won't you join us and have a glass?
No, but thank you.
Nonsense. Anyway. Sit down.
Really, Paladin, I didn't mean to intrude like this.
You can stop babbling now, Miles. Get your hands up, Paladin.
What?
No, Lavinia, don't shoot him. It'll make too much noise.
I said get your hands up, Paladin.
All right. This is quite a surprise, Lavinia. I didn't know you carried a Derringer in your purse.
Oh, shut up and keep quiet. Well, Miles, your brandy didn't work. What do we do now?
Give me a chance to think. What happened with the brandy?
You probably forgot to put the poison in it.
Poison?
Yes, Paladin. You should have been dead an hour ago.
Oh? Well, I must have opened the wrong bottle.
The wrong bottle?
Mm-hmm. Hey, boy brought me a bottle a couple of hours before yours arrived. They were identical.
Well, Miles, that's something you didn't think of. Why don't I just shoot him and be done with it?
No, we'll be caught before we can get out of here.
Yes, the shot would wake the hotel, Lavinia.
I'd be willing to take the chance.
Now, there's no reason why we can't go through with our original plan. Where's the other bottle?
Well, look in his liquor cabinet.
You really wouldn't expect me to drink the brandy now, Lavinia.
If you don't, then I'll be forced to shoot you.
Either way, I lose, huh?
Either way.
Then I think I prefer being shot.
Stop!
Give me the gun.
Miles, help me!
Give it to me.
Oh.
right, now take the gun.
Miles!
You shot me.
Miles!
He's dead.
November 27th, 1960, the last Have Gun Will Travel here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. A conclusion next. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of the final radio episode of Have Gun Will Travel, November 27th, 1960.
He's dead.
Oh, no. Oh, no, no.
Hey, boy, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you coming all the way over here to Oakland with me.
Oh, not often you go on such plenty long trip, Mr. Paladin. Too bad Missy Wong couldn't get off work and come with us to say goodbye.
Yes, she wanted to.
Well, maybe it's better she not come. She'll be crying big tears on Hey Boy's shoulder all the way back to hotel.
Yeah, here you are, Mr. Paladin, right on the spot.
Thank you, driver. Here you are.
Thank you. Oh, you need help with those bags?
No, Hey Boy and I can handle them. You will wait for him, won't you?
Oh, yes, sir.
And see that he gets back to the Carlton.
Hey, you count on me, Mr. Paladin.
Good. Oh, here, Hey Boy, I'll carry the big one.
Oh, Isa.
All right, let's go. We want car 14, Hey Boy.
We better hurry, Mr. Paladin.
That's all right. Yeah, that's my car right over there.
Oh, what we do with these bags?
Put them in the vestibule. The conductor will take care of them for me. Here we are. Up they go. There we are.
Oh.
That's it. Now, remember, Hey Boy, the other trunks are ready to ship. I'll write you and let you know where to send them.
Mr. Paladin, when will you come back?
I don't know, Hey Boy. All depends on how long it takes me to liquidate my aunt's estate. Several months at least. Then you never know. I may take a liking to Boston and settle down there permanently.
It won't be the same Carlton Hotel while you're gone.
Oh, now. I've left many times before, Hey Boy.
We saw, but this time you will not come back, maybe.
You never can be sure. Just don't forget me. Keep looking for me. I may be back.
I hope so.
Oh, and don't forget to send me the San Francisco papers. I want to be sure and follow Miss Todhunter's trial.
Oh, what do you think they do with her?
Send her to jail for a few years.
Well, you better go, Mr. Paladin.
Yes. Now, Hey Boy, look, if you and Miss Wong decide to get married, give me plenty of notice. I will be back for that.
We'll write you. Let you know.
All right. Well, goodbye, Hey Boy.
Goodbye, Mr. Paladin.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye, Mr. Paladin.
Have Gun Will Travel. Created by Herb Meadow and Sam Rolfe, is produced and directed in Hollywood by Frank Paris and stars John Dehner as Paladin, with Ben Wright as Hey Boy and Virginia Gregg as Miss Wong. Tonight's story was specially written for Have Gun Will Travel by Mr. Paris. Featured in the cast were Vic Perrin, Bartlett Robinson, John James, and Lynn Allen. Tonight, CBS Radio brings to a close this current series of programs. This is Hugh Douglas extending best wishes to you from the cast and crew of Have Gun Will Travel.
CBS didn't give that kind of classy, courteous sign-off to a lot of other classic radio programs. But there you go. Thank you for tuning in. This was the final episode. And by the way, Have Gun Will Travel would continue for 3 more years under the tutelage of Richard Boone on CBS television. From November 27th, 1960, Have Gun Will Travel here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, here's another episode of Captain Midnight. This was originally broadcast November 27th, 1939. Danger in the Air.
The Skelly Oil Company presents Captain Midnight. Captain Midnight, brought to you every day, Monday through Friday, at this same time, by the Skelly Oil Company, Skelly jobbers and dealers. Say, I just thought of a funny thing. What if your winter coat always kept changing weight? Sure. What if your heavy coat got lighter in cold weather and then began getting heavier the minute the weather turned warm? Well, you'd say the same thing I would. You'd say, what a crazy kind of a coat this is. Give me a coat I can depend on. But think of this. The oil in your family car might be just as changeable in weight as that changeable coat. Yes, sir. And of course, that's bad. What you want is an oil that stays almost the same weight all the time. So it will always give your motor the same perfect lubrication and positive protection at all temperatures. You want an oil that thickens as little as possible when it's cold and thins out as little as possible under intense heat. And that's where Uniflow motor oil comes in. Uniflow motor oil, spelled U-N-I-F-L-O. Uniflow is sold in cans at all Skelly service stations. Thousands of motorists are switching to Uniflow because it thickens less when cold and thins out less under heat than any other oil. Now, what does that mean to you and your family car? Well, it means easy starting on cold mornings because Uniflow doesn't get thick as glue when it stands out in the cold, and that saves your battery, too. It also means better protection for your motor when it's hot, because Uniflow stays right there on the job, lubricating those important fast-moving parts of your motor. It doesn't turn watery thin and go right up in smoke. So tell your dad about Uniflow motor oil tonight. Tell him it isn't changing weight all the time like that funny changeable overcoat. And say, Skelly Tagoline is another good oil for winter. It's free-flowing at low temperatures and low in cost. Dad will be glad to know about these 2 wonderful motor oils. Why not tell him tonight to stop at your Skelly service station and ask for Skelly Tagoline or Uniflow motor oil. And now to Captain Midnight. Last time you remember, while Captain Midnight and Senor Pareda stood off the attack of Ivan Shark and his men, Chuck and Dolores took off in a black plane of sharks. Not long after their takeoff, another black plane suddenly appeared and dove on them. At first, Chuck thought it was Captain Midnight, but machine gun bullets soon convinced him otherwise. Momentarily, Chuck is completely stunned. Then, the knowledge that a helpless girl is in the back seat clears his head. He throws the ship into a right-flaming turn, at the same time shouting to Dolores,
Down, Dolores! Get down on the bottom of the cockpit!
But what is it, Chuck? Why should he shoot at us?
It's one of Shark's pilots. It's not Captain Midnight.
What can I do, Chuck, to help you?
Oh, there isn't much, Dolores. Just keep your eye on that plane and tell me exactly what he's doing.
Look out, Chuck! He comes closer, see?
Watch him carefully, Dolores. As soon as he starts shooting again, I'm going to try something else. Right now, I'm going to dive a little so as to get up some speed.
Oh, quick, Chuck, you must hurry. This plane, it gets closer every second.
Oh, don't worry. We'll get away. Watch yourself now. I'm going to start gathering speed.
It's closer, much closer.
Tell me the instant he starts shooting.
See? But how shall I know?
Tracer bullets will start coming from his machine gun. You can't miss them.
All right. I shall tell you.
Jiminy crickets, Dolores. I don't like this.
What is it, Chuck? Has something new happened now?
We're being forced way off our course, to the west.
Oh, that is bad, mi amigo. In this direction is the low country, the jungle.
I can't worry about that. I've got to find...
Chuck, they start shooting.
Hold tight now. We're going into a vertical bank.
That is good. The tracers, they do not come near the ship.
Well, where is he now, Dolores? I've lost him.
He's back and below us. But he's turning. He's coming up at us.
Oh, gosh, this is bad. I don't know how long I can keep this up.
Oh, perhaps sooner, Captain Midnight. He will come to help us.
Oh, that's what I'm hoping. But we're being forced so far off our course.
Oh, look out, Chuck. The pilot, he comes at us again.
Hold on. I'm going into a vertical left bank.
The flashes of smoke. The tracer bullets. They go through the wing of our plane.
Now, where is he now?
He hangs on to us. He gets behind us.
Oh, he's beginning to figure out what I'm doing. I've got to think of something else.
Oh, if the Captain Midnight were here, what would he do?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Wait a second. I've got it.
Oh, but you must do something quick. The tracers, they come at us fast.
Hold tight now. Look out for this one.
Oh!
Where is he now?
I do not see him.
Oh, I've lost him myself. We've got to see where he is. If we can't find him, it's going to be just too bad.
Oh, my head, Chucka. I do not feel good.
Oh, it's because we're upside down, Dolores.
I do not feel good, Chucka. I am sick. Help me, Chuck. Help me.
We'll be all right in a second. Dolores! Dolores!
Help me. Help me.
Blazing beacons, there's that ship. He's back and below us. He's got us cold. Oh, if only I had someone to handle that rear machine gun. The engine. It's quit. Dolores! Dolores! Jiminy Cricket, she's fainted. See, what's that below us? Flaming floodlights. There's that waterfall in the Aztec temple. But there's not a place to make a forced landing. Not a single one.
And now we change to a different scene. A short time earlier, Patsy, Pebbles, Pinky, and Slim crossed the underground river, and coming out to the left of the brink of the falls, they made their difficult way down the mountainside toward the Aztec temple. There we now find them, almost at the bottom of the descent, and not far from the falls, pausing a moment to rest. Listen as Patsy says...
Gosh, that waterfall in Aztec Temple is the most beautiful sight I ever saw.
By the great grizzly, Patsy, you're right. I ain't seen nothing like this in all my born days.
There ain't nothing like it around Black Gulch, I know that.
Oh, it's the hot potatoes, that's what it is. But we have many places like this in Mexico.
I'll say you have. Mexico's got some of the swellest scenery I've ever seen. Well, we're almost to the temple.
Well, all we got to do is to get around this big rock, go down a little bit, and we'll be there.
Well, see, now that we have the daylight, it will be much easier to see.
Yeah, it sure helps a lot. Back in the cave, it didn't make any difference whether it was night or day. But...
Galloping goose, Patsy, what are you looking at?
Gee, Slim, I'm not looking at anything in particular. I just thought I heard something.
By the jumping berries of jump. I can hear airplanes.
Jumping, gee, horse or pack.
Gee, Jerusalem. Look, I can hardly see on account of the mist from the waterfall, but it's two planes, all right.
Well, gosh, all hemlock, what's them flashes? See, they're coming right out of the nose of one of them planes.
Why, they're tracer bullets, that's what they are. One of the planes is firing at the other.
See, and they're getting lower and lower. One of the ships has got the other one on the run.
Well, who in tarnation could they be, Patsy?
They're both black. They must belong to Ivan Sharp.
Well, don't forget, me Captain Midnight and Chuck are in the black plane.
Why, sure they are. And one of them must be red and shook.
Well, for once you hit it right on the nose. One of them must be Captain Midnight, or they wouldn't be a-fighting each other.
Well, that one that's got the other one on the run, that must be a Captain Midnight.
It sure must be, because Captain Midnight's a swell pilot.
Hey, that's funny, Patsy.
What's strange, Pinky? What do you mean?
Hey, them two-seaters, ain't they?
Sure they are. Even I can tell that.
Well, they got gunners in the rear seats, ain't they?
Sure they have, Pinky.
Well, why don't this guy in the rear seat, the one that's getting the worst of it, why don't he do a little shooting and defend himself?
Gosh, that is kind of strange, Pinky. Maybe that one ship doesn't have anybody in the rear cockpit.
Oh, quick, look. That one plane, he will shoot down the other.
Now, this ain't going to last long, if you ask me.
Gosh, look at that. That one plane's motor is quit.
Well, if his motor ain't running, he'll have to come down.
Yeah, and then that other pilot can polish him off on the way down.
No, he won't either. Not if it's Captain Midnight, he won't.
Now, you're right, Patsy. Captain Midnight's a good sport. He wouldn't shoot down a helpless man. Even if it was one of Shark's pilots.
Oh, look, the plane that shot the other one down isn't doing anything. He's just circling overhead.
But what's this fella gonna do? He's circling lower and lower, and there ain't no place for him to land. Leastwise, not that I can see.
Well, there's nothing but the jungle.
That courtyard in front of the temple is the only open place around, and that's pretty small.
Could a plane get in there, Patsy? You know more about them things than we do.
I don't think so, Slim. It's far too small. And anyway, one end of it stops right at the edge of the pool at the bottom of the falls.
Looks like to me the only way a ship could land would be come right in towards the falls.
That's the only possible way a ship could land, Pinky. And just about the time he got his wheels on the courtyard, he'd be into the pool at the foot of the falls.
Oh, look, he's getting lower and lower.
Look, he's a-turning.
Looks like he's going the other way.
Oh, he is gone. Over there is nothing but jungle. Oh, he is what you call the cooked goose.
He's going to crack up sure.
Yeah, what are we going to do, Patsy? Shall we go down to the temple, or shall we stay here?
I think we'd better be getting on back home. Captain Midnight will be landing there in a few minutes.
You mean if that ship circling above is Captain Midnight?
You said it couldn't be anybody else, Patsy.
I don't think it is, but...
Quick, mi amigos, look.
By cracky, that ship's turning around.
He ain't going down into the jungle after all.
Oh, no, he's coming back this way. Well, what is he going to do?
I know just what he's going to do. He's going to try to land in the open square, in this courtyard in front of the temple. But he'll crack up sure.
Oh, look, there he comes. He's getting lower and lower.
He's got a wall to get over before he can get down into that courtyard.
No, he ain't got a chance. That place don't look to me like it's more than 100 feet long.
It's bigger than that, but it's far too small.
Oh, look, the tail, it goes back and forth. What's the pilot doing?
He's fishtailing to kill speed.
His wheels are going to hit that wall.
He's at the end of the trail now.
No, he's not. Look, he's pulled back on the stick. The wheels came up. Just missed the top of the wall and they're over. I hope he makes it.
But gosh, Patsy, it's one of Ivan Shark's pilots.
I don't care if he is, Pinky. He's doing a swell job of flying.
See, look, his wheels, they're about to hit.
But he's halfway across the courtyard now.
He can't stop that ship in time. He'll go over the edge of the courtyard and down to the water below the falls.
Oh, this is terrible. I wish we could help him.
Oh, you were right, Patsy. There is no one in the rear cockpit.
Hey, look at that pilot fight with them controls.
He's on them flagstones now. But gosh, all hemlock, look at him roll.
Oh, he goes into the pool. He cannot stop.
Ain't he got brakes, Patsy?
He probably has, but he's going too fast.
Oh, look. He reaches the end.
No, he's got a 50-foot drop into that pool. There won't be nothing left of him when that water hits him from above.
He's tried the brakes, but he was going too fast.
Oh, it's the finish. He's almost at the end.
This is awful. I can't bear to look at it.
No, he's going to kick the bucket shore.
20 feet more and he'll go over.
Oh, he hasn't got a chance. He's going to plunge off into that pool.
How much more terrible Patsy and her friends would feel if they knew it was Chuck Ramsey who was fighting so desperately to bring the plane to a stop. And crumpled in the seat of the rear cockpit is the beautiful Dolores Pareda, mercifully ignorant of what is taking place. What will happen next? Tune in tomorrow to Captain Midnight. Say, how good are you at remembering words? Can you remember the secret password of the 1940 Flight Patrol? And have you figured out what it means? Well, here are two other words I want you to remember. One is Tagolene, spelled Tagolene. The other is Uniflow, spelled Uniflo. Tagolene and Uniflow are the names of two kinds of motor oil, both sold at your Skelly service station. And the reason their names are worth remembering is that they're both mighty good oils for winter. First, because they don't get thick and gluey when cold, and that means easy starting on cold mornings. And second, because they don't turn watery thin when your car gets warmed up. That means they last longer in your motor. So remember those two words, Tagolene and Uniflow. They're passwords to perfect lubrication. Tell Dad to ask for them at your Skelly service station. And don't forget to tune in again tomorrow, same time, same station, for further transcribed adventures of Captain Midnight. Brought to you by the Skelly Oil Company, Skelly Jobbers and Dealers. Can Chuck make a successful landing at the brink of the waterfall? And what about Captain Midnight and Senor Pareda? Be sure to listen tomorrow. Until then, this is Don Gordon, your Skelly man, saying goodbye and happy landing!
November 27th, 1939, Captain Midnight here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We want to thank our friend Ted at RadioMemories.com. He supplies programs on cassette, CD, or flash drive for your computer. Tune in, RadioMemories.com. He's got a whole bunch of shows he just remastered, and I think you'll enjoy them. Visit my webpage as well, classicradio.stream, classicradio.stream. Stream our shows on demand. Learn about building a classic radio collection of your own. You can find lists of places where you can contact our shows and download them to your computer. Our social media links are there as well. And you can also buy me a coffee. The Buy Me a Coffee money helps us acquire additional classic radio collections. That's all at classicradio.stream. Thanks for tuning in. Tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.